Animal Messages with Julie, and we're on the road again. What you see behind me, I think you're seeing the sun go down, so you're seeing that reflection off the mirror. Today we're with, oh, here comes Moby the cat. I said he could make an appearance, but he had to leave the dog alone. So today we're going to talk about dementia in animals. There he goes. No, he's heading towards the litter box. I thought maybe he was going to hop up here. Okay, so animals get dementia, in my talking with them, they get dementia similar to the humans. So those of you that are watching for the first time, okay, I'm an animal communicator. So I feel I'm an animal empath. I feel what the animal feels, and then I hear them in English, and then the animal and I talk, okay, as if I'm talking to a human. Actually, it's easier for me. So they're just on a different frequency, okay? And I originally trained to work with humans and human bodies and human trauma and human death and hospice, but now I do it all with the animals. So I'm here on the road watching a dog and a cat, and the dog is a senior dog. Okay, so her owner told me how she should behave, the dog, and she'll go into the sunroom and then this and that. Today, the fourth day, was the first day the dog did anything that the owner said she was going to do. So Monday was a rough day for the dog. She kept, it was like my experience in the nursing home, where my fellow residents, a few of them had dementia, and they would ask the same question every day right before the meals. And they would sometimes ask it 5 times until the meal tray came. And one of them was, are we going to eat in our room, or are we going to eat in the dining room? And then the nurse or nurse's aide would say, you're going to eat in your room. I swear to God, 30 seconds later, are we going to eat in our room, or are we going to eat in the dining room? So until those trays came, that was the question. And when the trays came, this fellow resident would be like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like it was the first day food had ever been delivered to her, already cooked. So I have my experience for 2 months being in the nursing home. Some of you know I've hit my head, and I've had, that's how I got this capacity. So I've had a strange few years. And one of them was I spent 2 months in a nursing home, and I didn't have dementia, but some of my fellow residents did. So now when I'm talking to animals, I'm discovering the same thing, not similar, same. So anyway, Willow on Monday was like, so do you want to go outside? She's like, yeah, outside. So okay, I put on her harness and I hooked up the leash, and then I went, we were 3 feet from the door, and she put, how dogs do that, all 4. And she was like, I don't know you, I'm not going anywhere with you. Who are you? And then she'd try to get away and go into a corner, and she'd follow the wall. She wouldn't go through a room, she'd follow the wall, and she'd lay down in the corner. And it's like, okay, I have this experience in the nursing home, so I already knew how to interact. And it's just a matter of fact. It's like, I'm Julie, I'm your caretaker. I'm here to take care of you, take you outside, and feed you. And she would say, oh, good, I need that. And this went on 6 times on Monday, where she would be like, I don't know you. And then I'd say, okay, I'm Julie. I'm the caretaker. I'm here to take care of you. And then by Wednesday, she would be like, oh, yes, feed me and take me outside. Okay. We finally got, but it had thrown her completely off, like her people not being here. That aspect threw her completely off into more of the dementia. And it took her a few days to get, and actually the animal world helped her, the animal spirit world helped her. I had to go, to the house where another dog is that I have worked with before. And he says, yeah, we've been helping her. She was sick and we're helping her to get like her mind right. Um, so yeah, six times we went through that on Monday, and she wouldn't get up and go to her bowl and eat either. Like it was that freeze. But there's the fear, because in dementia, there's like, I don't know you, I don't know what's happening. So this fear comes up, and the fear, they'll freeze in the fear. Like, no, I'm not going with you. I'm not moving from this corner because I'm afraid. I don't know what's happening. I don't know you. I don't know what's next. I can't remember what's next. And
Hey, Moby.
yeah, you heard Moby meow. Yep. Sounds like Aria. So yeah, so we just handle it the same way. And I'm so glad that her people did hire an in-home care for her, because I said, if she had been put in a kennel, I don't know, that might have been the last trip for her, because she wouldn't eat or drink. I would bring it to her and then she would eat it out of the bowl. I one night brought water to her on her bed, so she was eating and drinking when it was brought to her, but her mind had frozen. It's like she didn't know me. She was just frozen. And when we'd go outside, she'd go along the wall and then go in a corner and lay down. And I'm like, she's not going pee or poop either. It's like, but she was still eating. So as long as your dog is eating and drinking, they don't need to be, rushed to the vet kind of situation. I knew because I can hear what she's saying, that this was a mental issue. So yeah, last night she stole my pillow, and today she woke me up with it. And then she went out the doors, the sunroom doors. And that's what the owner told me she did. So it took 4 days for her. So I would say too, if anybody's watching this and you have senior animals, it is worth it to invest in that in-home care when you go on vacation, or a relative or something. Because if they're taken out to a kennel where nothing is familiar to them, not their floor, not their bed, nothing. Yeah, they're already in a state of fear just because their people go away. Okay, so, and we had that with Ozzy. When Ozzy passed, Holly's Ozzy, she had shown me, she said, I'm under the bed, because we couldn't find her in the condo. She said, I'm under the bed, and she showed me hardwood floors. Now, Holly's condo, and I was in Holly's condo, it's all carpeted or vinyl flooring. There's no hardwood floors. So Ozzy had gone into the dementia, and she had a few weeks before too, because I had been talking with Ozzy, and she would go off and in the same thing, like in the nursing home, they go back to a younger time. In the nursing home, it was age 20, age 30, they would go back to. When they worked as a secretary, when they had a husband, they'd say, oh no, I got to get husband. I got to go home. I got to get supper for my husband. And they're 85 and the husband's been gone for 50 years, so the animals are doing the same thing. They're mammals, we're mammals. They have a mammalian brain, we have a mammalian brain. Same. I mean, it's just between dog, cat, and human, there's a tweak of a difference here and there, if you think about it.
Ozzy went back to her kitten time.
Yeah, and then Holly remembered it a few days later, and she's like, that's the house we lived in when I first got her, when she was a kitten, that had all hardwood floors, which was what, 14 years earlier?
Yeah.
So yeah, which makes it, when a cat is missing, it makes it even harder. Same as when a human goes missing, because the human doesn't remember their phone number. They don't remember that cell phones exist, right? They don't, but also the cat Ozzy was showing me a picture that no longer existed. I mean, it existed in her mind, but it didn't exist in that condo. They hadn't been there for at least 10 years. right, Holly? It was at least 10 years.
Oh, longer. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're discovering here that the animals do the same thing as the humans. Their brain goes back to that younger time, that when they were in their prime time or really happy time. Yep. And as anybody who's watched before, you know that Ozzy, a veterinarian, came to the condo to help Ozzy drop her body. So that's also quite beneficial too, because she was already in dementia. So to put her in the car and take her somewhere, it's like, yeah. So
And it
anyway.
was good for the other animals.
Yes, and the other 3 cats could sniff the body, it sniffed the tissues. The other 3 knew she dropped her body. It wasn't like, oh, she went in the spaceship and she never came back. They call the cars spaceships a lot of times. They knew what happened. She dropped her body. Okay, she's not in her body anymore, but she's still here. Okay. Yeah, because you'll notice that in the wild, when they do tape, what happens in the wild through packs or cats, cats have kittens, the wild cats. So when there is a dropping of the body, which we call death, although it's not as final as that word seems to mean, they do hang around the body a little bit. They sniff the body, they hang around the body, and then one time they just carry on. Not that they're happy, but they just carry on. They'll just walk away and be like, like they sniff the body, they know it's tissue, but the spirit does kind of stay with the body for a little while. It depends upon that spirit. So yeah, till the pack or the animals that are still in their body have absorbed what has occurred. Oh, spirit left the body. Okay. We have our rituals, and they have their, I would call them mini rituals, which is the sniffing. They're not without their rituals. They just don't walk away. They sniff. The other 3 cats came and they each sniffed kind of individually Ozzy's body as she laid there. And at that point, it's tissue, and it's on a pee pad, because the bladder, the mouth, everything, it'll start to leak because the brain isn't controlling the muscles to keep them tight or loose where they're supposed to be. So the veterinarian used the term leak. The bodies will start to leak. And the other animals smell that and they know what's occurred and they sense the spirit. And yeah, it really is, in my point of view right now, the best. Like if you can afford that, and and it's available in your area, that is really beneficial, to do that. Okay, so there was that. And what is that? Oh, Saturday is a master class through Karina Nickerson's group. It's being offered free, and it's focusing on you, the person, in grieving the loss of your pet, or in this case with Willow's owner knows that, knows Willow's not behaving like she did the last 11 years. That's, just so it's like, you don't talk about it, but as a pet owner. So yeah, so if you're at that stage, Karina Nickerson is having me come in to work with the humans on that. Yeah, and what the animals have to say about it. And then afterward, like Ozzy even has asks every week, she asks that there be food in her dish. I haven't heard from her this week, but and she'll tell you how to heal. And my Chico would tell me what to do. He would tell me, okay, mama, you just keep coloring. And some of you know I do artwork, and so he called that coloring. He's like, you just keep coloring, and he would tell me what to do to get through it. So that's also your particular animal. Like, nobody knows you better than your pet. They've read your mind. They've seen you at your best. They've seen you at your worst. They know, they can tell you what you require to get through the grieving. And they do. Like Ozzy wants food in her bowl every day. Like I said, she didn't say anything right now. I haven't heard from her. Chico wanted me to color. And every time I was upset, he would, about with a person or something, he would say, I'll eat them. You'll be like, I'll fuck them up. I'll eat them up, motherfucker. Because he was a little fighter guy. And that's just what I needed, was like someone on my side. He was still on my side, you know. He was a Chihuahua mix. So he was like, and Ozzy needs like that action of, you know, that's a healing thing for Holly. Put the food in there and she still is here. It's proof kind of thing. Ozzy knows best what's required. So we're doing all that for like an hour and a half on Saturday. It starts at 11 was Central Time, 1 California time, 10 Eastern time. Okay. All right, I'm done talking. Holly, do you have any questions? Holly is not feeling very well, guys. So she might not want to talk.
I don't mind. Ozzy wanted food in her dish all the time when she was alive. She would stand on her carpet next to her dish because she wanted food. And I would just give her a couple little kernels of dry food. And she knew that if she stood there and looked at me and I saw her, that that's what I was supposed to do. So that's why she asks all the time for her food. So, yeah.
As proof to Holly that she's still there.
Yeah.
Because what other thing, you know, I mean, if I were a fake, I could say something else, you know, like her blanket or her brush or something. But that particular thing that Ozzy asked for, only
All the
Holly
time.
knows about this.
Yeah.
It's not like on Facebook she has, or Instagram. Oh yeah, my Ozzy does this, blah 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 blah. No, it's nowhere. It's only between Ozzy, the other 3 cats, and Holly. Your mom probably doesn't even know.
No.
Yeah.
Kelly would know.
Yeah.
The only person that would know would be probably Kelly, because she's seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
She would come over and help me do work, and she'd see her. Oh, she's standing on her carpet by the food. Yeah. She wants a little, and if there's nothing there, then she wants some. So I give her some.
Mhm.
Because she was my little angel.
Yeah. She was the lap kitty. And yeah, I mean, we're in our bodies, Holly and I, and you who are listening, you're in your body. So yeah, I miss Chico not being in his body. I miss his waddle. He had a turkey waddle here. I miss the smell of his 17-year-old breath. I mean, I do miss those things. Even though I know he's still around and he'll still blink the lights on me when he wants to get my attention. He wants me to like sit down and focus on something. The kitchen lights will go off and on. But still, I mean, I'm in a body and I miss him being in his body. I miss snuggling, you know, somebody behind my knee when I sleep, you know. So, but yeah, if I didn't have them available spiritually, I think the grief would have been bigger, like much bigger. Because, like I said, they come back and they, through me, tell us how to deal with it in a more smooth way, like get through it, how to get through it. Yeah, rather than just being like a black hole. Yeah. And Moby, his cat, he wants to go in his sunroom right now. He goes like this on the window, the sliding glass door, and it means he wants to go in there. And
See?
Yes, Moby? You will be on the show? No, he said no, open door. I heard that very clearly. Sure, I will. I'm on the show, right? Yeah, I'm working. That's right. Yeah, like daddy. Because the man of the house who's normally here works from home. Oh, I have something to tell you too. So Willow, the dog, the name for the cat came only like 2 years ago, right? So it was just the dog for a long time. And then the cat came. And Willow calls the cat Stinky House. Like that's the cat's name to the dog, Stinky House. And I'll say, okay, I'm gonna go in the bedroom, you guys. And Willow will say, take Stinky House with you. And my logic is Willow likes to lay by the mudroom, and there's a litter box in the mudroom. No, there's 3 litter boxes in one cat. It never smells like litter box here, right? But I think he's going to pee and poop like 5 feet from Willow's nose, her nap place, And so now it's like, Stinky House. That's the name of the cat, Stinky House. Oh, and the cat was like raising the paw to the dog earlier. Was doing that like, and I picked the cat up by the scruff, back here by the scruff. That's how you can pick cats up. That's how the mama cat picks them up, right? And I'm like, hey, you don't raise your hand. I put the cat in the sunroom, and I'm like, you don't raise your hand to the elderly. You don't raise your paw to the elderly. And it was this paw too. And the dog would like stand up like, oh, what's happening? What's happening? I mean, you've got an elderly dog. She's got dementia. And here comes this cat, like, get out of my way. I'm like, have some respect for the elderly dude. And the dog doesn't snap back or anything because she's just so confused anyway, And she's like, oh no, take that Stinky House with you. So I'm going to stop recording now. What was that? Was that a bird on there? I got one trying to get in the sunroom and one trying to go after a squirrel outside. Okay, thank you for joining us. I'm stopping recording.